Okay. Hi, everybody. We are here again with Ian from the Travel Corporation. Tonight, we're going to be talking about our Colors of Sicily tour that's happening in June of 2024. So, Ian, if you want to go ahead and take it away, we'll get started.
Awesome. Katie, thank you very much. First, it is fantastic to be back with Shepherd University, sharing with you these amazing travel opportunities for alumni, for community members, etc. So thank you very much. So if you'll allow me just 1 second, I'm going to get my screen sharing going here so I can take everybody through a pretty groovy trip and opportunity to travel. So I'm going to get everything shared here. Hopefully you can see my screen. And Katie, before I dive into it, I'm just going to ask, can you see my screen okay?
Yep, we can see your screen.
Perfect. Well, again, my name is Ian Kiner. I am the Director of Business Development for Trafalgar, as well as a selection of other brands. And we are the very honored partner of the Shepherd University Alumni Association in your Roaming Rams travel program. And for those of you who joined us last month, we were able to talk quite a bit about our amazing itinerary to Ireland, some amazing travel experiences there, some amazing personal experiences I've had there. But today, we are going to go to beautiful, sunny southern Italy, most specifically to Sicily. And as I understand it, and talking to Katie a moment ago, it's a little rainy there in your part of the world. So hopefully taking you away and talking a little bit about the beautiful sunshine of Sicily and their Mediterranean coasts will kind of take you away for a moment. So let's jump in and let's talk about the Colors of Sicily. Now, those of you who are on the last session, I am going to briefly go through roughly what the daily itinerary looks like, but I'm not going to give you the day by day. I'm not going to read off of an itinerary script. If you want to look at all the details of the itinerary, please visit the alumni website. We'll put that information up on Facebook. It'll all be there. You can go in, you can pore over the day-by-day itinerary, the specific things that are going to be each day, even what hotels the itinerary includes. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us at any point in time. Today, though, I am going to take you through a little bit of who we are, so you understand why Katie and Shepherd have entrusted us with taking you on this amazing travel experience. So we'll tell you a little bit about who we are. We'll do a little bit of a run through of the itinerary, just so you have a little bit better of an idea of the itinerary itself. We'll talk about some highlights that I really enjoyed talking about, get into some of the experiences, unique experiences, iconic experiences, and some of the optional things you'll be able to do, and then we'll wrap up. So Colors of Sicily is our trip that we're talking about this year, or for next year, for 2024. Trafalgar is the company who's operating. Trafalgar, just so you know who we are, Trafalgar's been operating for over 70 years in Europe and around the world. They're recognized as one of the great tour operators, one of the great global tour operators, period. And I want to share just a few little bits about Trafalgar and touring differently. Yeah, so super short video there, but that's really what it's all about. We want to make your travel experience as unique and as taken care of as possible. So we will take care of not everything, but just about everything, giving you an opportunity to experience the icons of Sicily, as well as having free time and an expert travel director there with you to allow you to experience things that may be a little bit more unique for yourself. As the slide says, but don't just take our word for it. We have a partnership with FIFO, which is a third-party customer review site. We felt it was important to do customer reviews outside of our own, outside of our control. We can't control anything with the reviews, good, bad, or otherwise. We can certainly comment, we can provide commentary, but we can't take anything down. We can't fill the box, if you will. And to have a 4.6 out of their grading system, which is out of 5 stars, puts us in rarefied air as one of the best tour operators. and just one of the best companies in general that FIFO does rankings for. So very proud of that and very proud to share it. Even more importantly than the trips that we do is our commitment to traveling responsibly. And I think this is something that's very important for you to have confidence in Shepherd in their selection to work with Trafalgar. As part of what we do and behind everything we do is our not-for-profit initiative called the Tread Right Foundation. The Tread Right Foundation guides everything we do as a brand, specifically looking after sustainability and responsible travel to places we visit. So as you can see there on the slide, what are we doing that is supporting the people of the place we visit adequately and supporting them in the way that is going to be sustainable and positive for them? What are we doing for the planet that we visit? What are we doing for the planet in our operations? How are we as a company being curators of the planet and the places that we hold dear when we travel? And lastly, what are we doing for wildlife? Now, certainly on this trip, we're not going to see a whole lot of wildlife. Sicily isn't known for its wild animals and safaris, but it is very, very well known for its people and just being one of the most beautiful and enchanting places on Earth. Certainly from antiquity and from history, it's held a very critical place in Mediterranean history and culture for a very, very long time. And we're excited to bring you there. And I want to stress one really important thing. Over tourism is a big deal in a lot of the places that we travel to, a big deal in a lot of places that people want to see in the world. You take, for example, another iconic place in Italy, and that's Venice, where Venice has had to enact all sorts of different rules and policies to help maintain and to help prevent the damage that can be done by over-tourism. You should know that in picking a destination and traveling to a slightly more off the beaten track destination such as Sicily, you are doing tremendous help, not only for tourism for Italy and for Sicily in general, but to reduce that over-tourism in places that are really, really suffering from having too many visitors. So Sicily is going to welcome you each and every one with very open arms. So our Colors of Sicily itinerary, you can kind of see our map there. Very important, the dates for this one. The first date on the ground there in Palermo is June 8th. Now, a cautionary tale, this is more for me than for you. My Italian is awful. My Italian pronunciation is awful. Please, no one hold it against me. I am not lucky enough to have been blessed with Italian heritage, and my Italian is just bad. So I'm going to do my best with some of the place names and some of the experiences that you'll see. I am honestly going to avoid saying a lot of them just because I don't want to offend anybody and get it wrong. But you see there a fantastic 9-day itinerary. We start in Palermo. We end in Catania. Catania, I think I got that right. And have amazing experiences, almost doing a full loop of the island of Sicily. So let's get into what that itinerary kind of looks like on a daily basis. 7th of June is going to be your first day. And by first day, I mean that's going to be your departure from the US. So wherever you're flying from, most of you, I assume, will fly out of the DC area, DC Baltimore area. You're going to depart on the 7th of June and you're going to make your way to Palermo. That's where the itinerary is really going to kick off. So on day one, Saturday, June 8th, we welcome you to Palermo. Simple day here. We're going to have dinner. We're going to get the lay of the land. We're going to meet the rest of the group that you're traveling with. Most importantly, you're going to meet your travel director and start getting a feel for all the amazing things you're going to get to see and to do. On day two, this is really devoted to Palermo. And we have lots of activities that you're going to be able to do. Not only are we going to do a sightseeing tour of Palermo, but you're going to have lots of optional activities if you want to go and see and do certain things. Basically, every day, give or take, is going to follow a fairly similar kind of tone and feel. You'll start every day with a great breakfast, usually there at the hotel. You'll have time with your travel director. We'll either be traveling to our next destination or maybe seeing a little bit more of the destination we're in. When we arrive in whatever destination we may be traveling to for that day, we're going to usually have our city tour, maybe some other iconic activity, depending on where we're at. And then you will likely have a good chunk of free time in the afternoon. Take advantage of the travel director. Everybody travels slightly differently. We all have different motivation. So whatever you're into, maybe it is the history, maybe these unique parts of the culture. Maybe you have family and family ancestry from Sicily or these parts of Sicily that we'll be visiting. Maybe it's architecture. Perhaps it's even literature and stories and seeing some of these places in ancient texts. And if you're like me, it's food. And Palermo is going to be your first introduction to the food of Sicily. You'll be very familiar with a lot of these tastes and dishes, as much of it has been imported into the US through different rounds of migration. But there, of course, in the originating place, in the home where all of these things are grown, whether it be the olives or some of the other things we'll talk through, you're going to have a fantastic opportunity to try some great food. Now, I don't know about you, but throughout the rest of this itinerary, food is going to be a theme for me. Now, when preparing all of this, there's all sorts of things we can talk about. This is Sicily. We can talk about the history, both from antiquity and current. We can talk about the architecture, again, from antiquity and how it influences architecture currently today. We can talk about a great many things, but I'm giving the presentation, and one of the biggest reasons when I travel is for all of the food and to try all of the delicious things that are unique to that place. So there'll be a slight undercurrent of food and drink as we carry on. Day 3, we go ahead and make our way out of Palermo and start our journey to Marsala. Now, along the way, we're going to take in one of Sicily's most ancient and important trades, and that is at Salina de Laguna, which is where they still harvest sea salt from the ocean. You see there, still done very traditionally, and you'll be able to experience that. From there, we're on into Marsala. Now, most of you will probably recognize Marsala from the chicken Marsala. Marsala is an absolutely incredible fortified wine, and I'm sure many of you think, oh yeah, I know Marsala, it's a cooking wine. I have some in my cabinet now. I'm here to tell you now that on your journey here, do not make assumptions that Marsala is purely a cooking wine. It is an absolutely fantastic drinking wine. It is as unique and can come in as many different flavor and taste profiles as you can imagine. So take advantage of the opportunity to taste and try some of the different Marsalas. Definitely bring some home. There'll be some absolutely fantastic things that you will take away from trying something that has traditionally been more of a cooking wine or thought of as cooking wine, but I assure you is a wonderful drinking wine as well. Moving on to day 4, we're on to Agrigento and Ragusa, beautiful antique destinations, that's terrible, destinations of antiquity. You'll get to see not only the cities as they are today, but the remnants of the cities as they once were. Day 5, we're into Modica, and I promised a culinary theme throughout this. So in addition to the city having some of the best Baroque architecture in all of Sicily, you're also going to get to experience Modican chocolate. Now, I didn't know about Modican chocolate until I first visited Sicily myself, and you are in for a wonderful, wonderful treat. On day 6, oh, here we go, keeping the culinary theme. I know it's around dinner time. I hope I'm not making everybody too hungry or keeping you away from dinner. We're into historic Syracuse. Syracuse, certainly if you studied any sort of ancient literature or any history from time of the Romans, what have you, Syracuse has played an important part in Mediterranean culture for a very long time, and there are some absolutely incredible architecture and sites to see as you visit the heart of what Syracuse is and take in the archaeological museum. We get our first few glimpses of Mount Etna as we make our way to Taormina. And as we're making our way into Taormina, this is where, Ken, the culinary theme, which I just can't help to kind of keep and maintain throughout, as we make our way through day 7 and day 8, we're going to have an opportunity for hands-on dinners, learning to make macaroni and traditional macaroni there. with farmers that have a passion for the aromatic herbs of Sicily. We'll give you an opportunity to taste firsthand, very fresh, some of the most wonderful things that are still produced and cultivated there on this amazing island. Day 8, Taormina Free Day. You can take in the coast, the views, again, opportunities to wine and dine and have absolutely incredible things there in our destination for Taormina, including one of my favorite, which is arancini, and I gotta make sure I say that right. I gotta think about it when I say that. But they're very fantastic. Risotto balls are usually stuffed, filled with risotto. They're absolutely fantastic. And I'm really starting to make myself hungry now. And then our last day, day 9, June 16th, we say farewell to Sicily, and away we go. So I touched on a lot of this as we were kind of going through the presentation, but there's going to be a few things that you're going to want to highlight on the itinerary. First are our Trafalgar differences. So these are very unique experiences that you're not just going to have on any itinerary. You're not going to be able to really do these out of a guidebook. There's first in Palermo, our visit with a local guide who's going to take us through the streets of ancient Palermo, as well as share with us and with our group a lot of their civil anti-mafia movement that's still going on today, and how the people of Palermo have taken it upon themselves to really zero in on kind of their anti-mafia activities. I already mentioned the Salina della Laguna, the Modican chocolate, which is absolutely fantastic, and certainly the Be My Guest experience on making macaroni with the locals. And if you'll excuse me just one quick, I had an uninvited guest trying to dive into our itinerary here. Hold on one second. Sorry about that, folks. Thank you. As we move on to our iconic experiences, so these are definitely the icons of the places we'll visit, whether it be the Monreale Cathedral, Ragusa, Syracuse, as I already mentioned, or the Greek Amphitheater in Taormina. Absolutely fantastic spots all along the way. And then your optional experiences. So not everybody's going to want to do the same things every day and every night. And we know that. And we want to make sure you have ample opportunity to do the things that you want to do, to see the things that you want to see, and have those cultivated experiences that we know are going to give you an amazing time. These optional experiences are exactly that. Your travel director will be able to arrange them for you, make sure you're set on your way. So whether it be the Marsala wine tasting, which I encourage everybody to do, or the day trip out to Mount Etna and Sovoca, the hilltop village from the movie The Godfather, those will be things that you can certainly take advantage of. If you're not interested in doing any of those things, if you want to find your own little spot or spend some time in your, find a different restaurant or just have some quiet time to yourself or with a partner, your travel director will certainly guide you on exactly what to do there. To get into a little bit of what's included, all of your accommodation along the way is included in the tour price. All of those essential experiences. We have a good number of meals, not all your meals. We don't want to dictate to where you're eating every day, but certainly breakfast and some very iconic experiences there, certainly at the beginning and end of the trip. As I mentioned, you're going to have your experienced travel director. Our travel directors are some of the best in the business. Not only are they going to give you an incredible history and share their expertise of the destinations and the places we're visiting. They are going to be engaging, enriching, and they really do know the places that you are going to be traveling through. So if there is anything that you want to do, any recommendations, they will surely be able to give them to you. And here's one more video just about who we are, what we do, and why we do it. Once it loads.
Here at Trafalgar, we've just turned 75, and you learn a lot in 75 years. You learn that travel can be as positive for the places we visit as it can be for the visitors themselves. You learn that landmarks are landmarks for a reason. But you also learn that what stays with people the longest are the real moments, meeting locals, enjoying meals, sharing laughs. You learn that what is best captured isn't just the photos, but the stories you hear from artisans, from chefs, from winemakers, the people you meet along the way. You learn that the more we know about other people's lives, the better ours become. You learn that each person's journey should be unique and that passionate people help make the best memories. You learn that the same passion that got you started in travel is what still drives you today and is why you've never been more excited for what's to come. And above all, you learn that people don't travel for more of the same. They travel for new, for exciting, for different. So here's to the next 75 years of touring the world differently. Trafalgar, tour differently.
All right, so that's the basics of it. The Colors of Sicily. Again, we've got our June 8th start date there in Palermo. You're going to depart the U.S. on June 7th. See our pricing there, $2,595 based on twin share accommodations. If you're traveling solo, that's fantastic. We love to have you. In the case of traveling solo, we always do room pairing, so you won't have to pay extra for traveling solo. However, if you're traveling solo and you want to make sure you have your own private room throughout, private space is available, first come, first served, and completely subject to availability. But if we can get you that solo single room, there's just a single supplement of $390. So if you're traveling solo and you're fine being paired with a roommate, that's great. You don't even have to think about a price difference than $2,595. If you do want to have that solo room, it's just $390 for the duration of the itinerary extra, and you are good to go. Now that price does include everything that we've already talked about, all of that transportation, the accommodation, a lot of those experiences. It does not include your airfare. We do not dictate to you how you travel and how you get there. We do not dictate to you what airport you fly out of or how long or how many connections you have. No, that's entirely up to you. We can certainly support you in making sure that you have all the information to book your flights, and we will do so, give you every detail you need. But if you have a particular airline you want to use, if you have a particular routing that you prefer, you want to use points, please feel free to do so. You are not structured or locked into any sort of airfare that we are going to force you to take. That is the sum of the presentation. I said there was a culinary theme throughout this. I can't help it. Traveling for food is one of my great passions in life, and I've had a great fortune to eat a great many things. I still, to this day, can taste, if I close my eyes and imagine it, the very first gelato I had in Italy. It was pistachio, and it was like nothing I have ever had in my entire life, before or since. It was absolutely fantastic. And every other dish I have eaten in Italy, learning the differences between Italian pastas and sauces, and the influence of seafood, especially in a destination like Sicily, taking advantage of the olives and the fresh olive oil, as well as the wine and the herbs and the just everything that comes, and especially from a place like Sicily, everything that comes from the ground is going to be absolutely fantastic. In addition to the sights and the sounds and the smells and that architecture, that culture, and the most important part, the people. So we have limited space on all of these, so you definitely want to get in as soon as you can. All you need to do to secure your spot on this trip is a $200 deposit. You can reach out to us via phone or email. If you want a little more information before you call us, that website there, shepherd.edu, roaming Rams alumni travel program. You can type that into Google. You can go to the alumni page. You can follow the link there in Facebook. You're going to have everything you need. Should have all of your questions answered, but again, you can reach out to us at any time if you have more. And definitely we look forward to speaking to you to get you on this amazing trip to Sicily. I had mentioned before the other trip that we have this year is our iconic Ireland and Ashford Castle. Equally as fantastic, two absolutely spectacular destinations between Sicily Sicily and Ireland. You really cannot go wrong either way. The most important decision you have to make is not whether you are going to travel, it is simply which trip do you want to take in 2024? Ireland or Sicily? Or Sicily or Ireland? And if you really can't decide, you are more than welcome to do both if you are so inclined. So that's it for me. I really want to say thank you to everyone for dialing in, listening to the presentation. More importantly, I look forward to each and every one of you traveling with us. We can't wait to have more RAMs on our itineraries in Sicily and in Ireland. And all of your information is again there on that final slide. I'll leave this up for just a second longer while I kind of defer over to Katie and ask if there are any immediate questions or anything that I should answer before I switch off our contact details.
Thanks so much, Ian. I don't have any questions in the chat at the moment, but if anybody's watching the live and has any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and we can do a little Q&A session right now. Sort of the biggest question I have, and it's, when I've traveled previously, it was always hard to determine what are you going to pack. So this will be a June tour. Do we have sort of an idea of what weather's like in Sicily that time of year? What's a suggestion of, always layers, but, what are we expecting weather-wise?
Yeah, so the first little caveat that I'm gonna put on all of it is always as you're getting close to departure, check those weather forecasts, because even if I tell you that consistently it's usually this, that as soon as I say that, it's going to be something different. So 2 to 3 weeks before your departure date, definitely take a look at the forecast around Palermo and around all the destinations, because even though it is an island, the weather on one side, on the western side, can be very different from the eastern side, and it can fluctuate. That said, June in Sicily, you're going to tend to have much warmer weather, drier weather. You're going to have a lot of sunshine. It is possible that you could get a little bit of rain. So you'll want to just check that forecast and pack accordingly. So you have those things you need. But generally speaking, you can expect, warm, beautiful, bright, sunny weather. I will say, just my personal recommendations, definitely bring layers, definitely bring what you're comfortable in. There will be some opportunities to be visiting churches and more sacred areas, as well as some of the ruins are going to be a little bit, you're going to be walking. So definitely some comfortable shoes. You definitely want to take advantage of some time on the coast and on the water. So your sandals, your flip-flops, what have you, your trunks. Lightweight clothes, things that you can layer, lightweight t-shirts, scarves, just anything if it gets a little bit chilly at night that you have something that's light and airy that you can pull out, but then kind of gives you shade and you can kind of take advantage of the breezes coming off the water during the day.
Awesome. I can definitely agree with you that traveling for the food is one of the main reasons to travel, especially Italian food. I mean, the pasta, the breads, the pizzas, for everyone who's going to go on this tour, you're going to have amazing meals every single day. I can guarantee that. Without
question. And what I definitely recommend for everybody, especially in Sicily, if you've never been to Italy and you don't kind of have a frame of reference for the food beyond, just kind of the different Italian cuisines, even if you've been in various places, whether it be in New York or Boston or DC, where there's fantastic food, the food really does change region by region. So even on Sicily, relatively speaking, it's not a huge island, but even on Sicily, where there will be themes and similarities running through everything you eat, it is going to be different. You are going to have an opportunity to have different meals and experience different tastes and flavors. And wherever you're at, whether it be at a restaurant or at one of our Be My Guest experiences where you're actually with locals and local families, ask them for the history of the food, ask them for the stories behind the food that you're eating, because it it just blows me away how much better it tastes when you know where it came from and when you have that story, and how many generations these recipes have been passed down where they don't even measure anything. It's just that's how much, and that's how you make it. And there's so much story and passion wrapped up in it, and every place is going to be slightly different.
Awesome. So still no questions in the chat. So we can go ahead and just wrap up for the evening. I just want to reiterate what Ian said about if you have any further questions, definitely check out the Alumni Association website, our Roaming Rams travel program page there. We'll have all of the details that you heard here tonight, and also all of the information about how you can book your trip. If you have any burning questions, you can reach out to my office at my phone number 304-876-5524, or via email to kswain@shepherd.edu, and I will make sure to get those questions answered for you all. Also, as he mentioned, we have our iconic Ireland and Ashford Castle tour that's going in April of 2024. We have Colors of Sicily in June, and then our next info session, which is happening in mid-November, will be for our Paris and Normandy river cruise that will be through Uniworld Tours. So be on the lookout for information for that coming up as well. I think I hit all the high points. Do you have anything else to add before we hop off here, Ian?
I do not, other than to say I hope everybody gets a chance to travel with us, and certainly join in on that Uniworld presentation, those Uniworld river cruises. If you're interested in that destination, those destinations, and certainly on river cruising, you will be absolutely blown away. They are without compare. So definitely join in that info session if you have any interest at all. And then thank you, Katie. It's always wonderful to get to present these wonderful trips that you've selected to your alumni.
Of course. Thank you guys so much for working with us, and you've been a great company to partner with, and we'll be releasing 2025 dates, hopefully early next year.
Excellent.
Okay. Thanks so much for joining us, Ian. I'm going to go ahead and end the live here, and we'll see you guys for the next time with Paris and Normandy.